Hey, big announcement from Sumer Sports, and it is good news for fantasy nerds like myself. Our SumerBrain tool that we just launched earlier this month now supports fantasy. We've got league sync tools. We have trade analysis, start sit advice, and my absolute favorite, the thing I'm the most excited about, the ability to get fantasy insights by asking deep data questions about complicated things. We're talking about information that's hard to find and time consuming to find and sometimes expensive to find. I'd love to show you how I use it. Okay, first thing we're going to do is go to the website, sumersports.com. We're going to click in the upper right corner where it says SumerBrain. And then this screen is going to pop up. This is where we're going to ask all of our questions. You see in the box where it says manual fantasy settings, that's what we're going to click if we want to sync our league. As of right now, we have the ability to sync leagues that are in Yahoo or Sleeper. I've got a ton of Sleeper leagues. I'm going to come back and sync one of them to show you how to do that in just a second. First, though, if your league is not on one of these two platforms, then you can click on the Configure Manual Settings button at the bottom of this screen. And then as you see here, it'll pop up all the different settings. You can set it as close to the way that your league is set up as possible. Is it PPR? Is it half PPR? Is it standard? Okay, mine are all PPR. Is it 12 or 14? I'm gonna leave mine at 12. Let's just change this. Let's say it's a 3 wide receiver league. So I'm gonna add that to 3 and then I'm all done. Now let's say I want to sync my league. I have almost all of my leagues are on Sleeper. I'm gonna enter my username now, look away. As you can see, I've got a lot of different teams here. I'm gonna sync one of them just for purposes of demonstration. It's the last minute league. Takes not even a full minute to sync these leagues up. And now we're all good to go. Get insights now. And now, as you can see here on my screen, there is a little thing that says last minute league. It now knows all the information about my league, who I have on my team, who's available on waivers, who I'm going up against this week. All of that information is already in SumerBrain at this moment. Which means that it knows, as do I, that I do not have a tight end to play in week 9 in this league. Both of my tight ends are on bye. I got a lot of players on bye in this league. So I'm going to use SumerBrain to help me find a tight end to play. Help me find an available tight end to play this week. Now I could just send that prompt right there and it would give me a good answer using whatever stats it decides are most important amongst the waiver wire options for me to consider. And they would probably be right. I'm going to add a couple of layers on top of this. I'm going to tell it what I want it to consider. In addition to the things that it's going to find anyway, I'm going to give it specific stats for it to track down. Please consider recent fantasy production, team target share, and how well opposing defenses perform against tight ends. Okay, I'm gonna put that in there. The reason that I added the extra layers are for a few reasons. One, I want you to see how this tool can layer stat requests on top of one another. It can search for them all at the same time, and then it can also put the results that it finds for all of the different waiver wire tight ends. It can frame it into an answer with analysis around it using the stats that I am valuing the most. I also will tell you that tools like this do best when your prompt is as specific as possible. If you have an expectation for what you are wanting the answer to look like, tell it what you want it to consider. Tell it what databases you want it to search. As specific as you can be, and you don't have to be specific. You can ask it, again, help me find an available tight end to play this week. It will give you an answer. But if you were looking for something that's a little bit next level, tell it what you want it to do, and then it will return that answer. Okay, we got our answer back. Available tight ends for week 9. Available right now in this league, we've got Theo Johnson from the Giants, projected to score just under 10 points. Has had some recently strong performances. Target share is the highest among the available options. Season stats it's giving to me, the week 9 matchups against the Niners. And then we get essentially a headline here. Best combination of target share and red zone usage among available options. red zone usage is not what I asked for, and I am curious to learn more. So what I'm going to do here with that, since it didn't give me any specific numbers, I'm going to kind of fact check that. I'm going to go to the Sumer Sports website, go to data, click tight end. Here under refinement, go to red zone. I'm going to filter for target share just to see about the usage. And there you go, Theo Johnson, the third highest target share for tight ends in the red zone, 29%. I would have never known that. Okay, so again, red zone target share, Theo Johnson. AJ Barner, it's telling me that he had an explosive game in week 5, showing big play potential. That's something to consider here. Ceiling. Target share is relatively, it's okay. Season stats. We've got the week 9 matchup against the Commanders, high touchdown rate, big play upside. Okay, so that's all interesting. It did not answer my question about the opposing defense's strengths, weaknesses, any kind of context surrounding that. So I'm going to ask a follow-up question that is explicit about that. I'm going to ask it to please look at the defenses, Theo Johnson, and let's do AJ Barner because that was the second suggestion, right? Are facing in week 9. I'm going to be explicit and tell me which one is likely to be an optimal target option in their offenses, considering the opposing defense's tendencies. Okay, so again, explicit. I am looking for analysis that will place these tight ends on the field in the environment that they're going to be in this week. This is, I think, one of the coolest things that this tool has the ability to do. And our goal is that it will do it intuitively soon. We're going for a tool that can find all of that information. Again, it has all of that information. We're hoping to get it to a point where it will intuitively put that into the fantasy answer. Wouldn't that be amazing? Okay, answers in. This is where we get the fun stuff. Okay, now we're looking at defensive profiles of their opponents. Theo Johnson versus San Francisco. Season performance versus tight ends, 60 targets allowed, 41 receptions. That's a 68% completion percentage. Yards per target, 6.1. That is significantly below league average. It gives me context for the number 2. Recent form, week 8, 4 targets, 24 yards, 0 touchdowns allowed to tight end. That's not great. I don't want a tight end who has 4 targets, 24 yards, and no touchdowns. Primarily zone coverage, 75%, with cover 3 as base defense, pressure rate, 25% blitz rate, and 7 average box defenders. It's giving me the entire picture of the defense and how it impacts the tight end. Now let's look at AJ Barner against the Commanders defense. Season performance versus tight ends, 52 targets allowed, 40 catches. That's a 77% completion percentage, 489 yards, 5 touchdowns. Yards per target, 9.4, well above league average. Week 8 numbers, 12 targets, 122 yards, and 1 touchdown. We know that Kelsey had a big game against them in prime time, so maybe that's just Kelsey, but it's not like Kelsey's doing that regularly anymore, so maybe that's the matchup. Coverage scheme, mixed approach, 58% zone, 25% man coverage with cover 3 primary. Pressure rate, 25% blitz rate with 6.6 average box defenders. Now, our target recommendation has changed. AJ Barner emerges as the better target option for week 9 based on defensive matchups. This is exactly what I'm looking for. This is a perfect example of all of the analysis that was given before is good analysis. It's looking specifically at that individual player and those numbers that they have brought to the table to this point. This tool allows you to look at the environment that that person is going to be in a way that we have not been able to do in this manner. If you wanted to go find all of those stats for these 2 guys, it would take you like all day. You would have to go look at so many different things. You can just plug in a quick question here and then get all of that information spat back at you. And I encourage you to hop in and play around. If you have a fantasy team on Sleeper or Yahoo, sync your team and just start firing away questions. I encourage you to ask about the opposing defenses that people are facing. Rather than asking a start sit, you can even literally lift the phrasing from my defensive question and just plug in the 2 names that you're considering as a start or a sit, and then ask it that way. And I think that you'll find information that is much harder to find. That's the goal of the tool, and I hope you have fun playing around with it.